Hi, I'm John from WorkshopAddict.com. Today I want to talk to you about the Micro Jig Gripper 200. This is a little device that is to be used with your table saw, bandsaw, router, whatever you want. This is basically a push block system for a table saw. Anything you're going to make small cuts with, you got to keep your finger away from the blades or a spinning router bit or bandsaw blade. A little backlog. A couple years ago I had a table saw incident where I had a kickback. And I had a piece of wood. I was hurrying, I was pushed on the wrong side of the wood, pushed the workpiece after it went through the blade, into the blade, shot it back, hit me in the stomach. It was ugly. Scared the heck out of me too. So ever since then I've been looking for a safer way to use the table saw. When I was doing my research, I was looking at the Gripper 200 and a magnetic featherboard system. I went with the magnetic featherboard system and it works. It's nice. But ever since I got my hand on this has been my go-to safety push block for the table saw. It's basically, you're limited by your imagination of how well this thing works. First off, when you get it, it comes in a box, nicely packaged. By the way, it's made in the US. Excellent. It's high quality. This thing is very durable. Can't say enough good things about it. It's great. In the box comes your instruction manual, how to put it together, how to use it. A DVD, which is completely worth the watch. It shows you just a huge amount of ways you can use this device. With the 200 system, you basically get this push block, the side guide, another attachment you can take on and off. You can attach it over here and make it a little wider. And this large base here. So you can configure it like this, and I highly recommend this 200 system because you have so many options with these attachments. I'm going to take you to the table saw in a little bit and show you a little more how it works. But before that, let's get a close-up look at this. First off, as you can see, there's two different colors. There's basically a black model and a yellow model. And this is how they look when you get them. Also, on the bottom side here, this is one of the most important parts of the system. This rubber gripper system down here. This is a very tacky, sticky surface that when you put it on your workpiece and start pushing it through the table saw, that's why it's called the gripper. It holds on very good. It allows you to push it through the table saw blade with control. It's genius. Right here you'll see a couple thumb screws, and that is so you can adjust this middle leg one way or another. The reason why you want to do that is when you use the system, when we take it to the table saw and show you, you are going to have the table saw blade run in one of these columns. And once you screw it down, you're fine. This side right here, you have a 1/4 inch leg that allows you to push 1/4 inch pieces of wood through the table saw. This side is a 1/2 inch leg. On their website, they also have an 1/8 of an inch attachment. So you can take one of these legs off. Very simple. Basically, there's some screws. Take it off. You stick the 1/8 inch plate on there, and you're able to cut an 1/8 of an inch thick piece of stock without worrying about getting hurt. That's very hard to do on a table saw. Like I said, you have this option, this extra plate, which allows you to get a little more grip on your workpiece. And like I said, your imagination is basically what limits you, because you can put it on either side. This right here is a little plate that allows you to have a little more stability. You can put it up in here, you can put it out there. It's a little more leverage. Just lock that into place. Goes on either side. These handles will slide side to side also. This larger plate here can be used either direction. It's, like I said, it's your imagination again. But it has a nice little hook feature right here that if you're using it in this direction, you can actually put the edge of the wood as you're pushing it through, hook it on, so you've got the back of it. One thing about these is you can use them separately, individually, or if you purchase both of them, which I'm glad I have two of them, you can use these in tandem, because when you use this separately or individually, you're basically limited to like a 16 or 18 inch piece of wood that you can safely control through there. You can probably get away with a little more, but that's what they recommend. If you use these in tandem, there's a couple ways you can do this. You can spread them out and do a larger piece of wood, And then I also have a technique called leapfrogging. You can basically put both of these down, push the wood through. Or leapfrogging is where you push it through, you bring this other one behind it, and continue pushing the wood through. You can continue doing that with a longer piece of wood. I found this system to be used in pairs extremely well. I was amazed. I was originally just going to get one of these. I got two, and I'm using both of them a lot. So let's take you over to the table saw, and I'll show you a couple quick cuts and how these things work. And then after that, refer to the DVD, because there is so many ways you can use this, and I keep finding new ways all the time. I'm just really impressed. A couple things I want to tell you before I actually make this cut. It's very important when you are making very thin cuts, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/8 of an inch, you need to be using zero clearance plate, because even with this system, if you've got a large hole there, the workpiece can fall as it goes through the table, fall down the void, shoot back at you. It'd be a mess. So keep yourself a zero clearance plate when you're using this for a small stock. One thing this does that I didn't tell you about over at the workbench is, you can see right here, black mark on the back side of the wood. This is something I cut a couple years ago, and I was running it through, and I wasn't real intelligent. I was taking chances, cutting this through very thin stock. Well, a lot of times you can get burns on here if you're not pushing through at a steady speed, and that's basically the blade rubbing up against your burning the wood. With this, you're able to push and control this at a normal speed, constant speed, without fear of, losing a finger, basically. So you don't see a lot of burn when you're using this. So what I basically did was, I'm using the 1/4 inch leg up against the fence. I moved the center bar over a little bit to give me some stability on the workpiece. And what this is going to do when I push through, this allows me to control the wood in 2 directions. I can keep it down on the table, actually 3 directions. I push it straight into the blade, and I can keep pressure on it, keep it against that fence. Typically on a kickback situation, when you push your wood through, when you get to the end, your wood will turn into the blade. As soon as it catches the back edge of that blade, it'll shoot it right back at you. Also goes if this workpiece goes through and then catches the blade. So what you really want to do is make sure you keep both pieces feeding through the table saw blade straight and off of it. I took the riving knife off just for demonstration purposes, but this can be used with the riving knife too, because you have enough clearance for that to cover. I basically have the saw blade up 1/4 inch or so through the wood, just like you should be. So let me show you how to do this. As you can see, the gripper allowed me to cut this very thin piece of stock through this table saw with control, and my hand was up and protected out of the way. They basically call this bulletproofing your hands, bulletproofing for your fingers, and it does work. It keeps my hand away from the table saw blade, and it's restored a lot of confidence. Last thing I want to demonstrate is the Leapfrog. You'll find this on their video, but this is a good way to be able to push through a longer stock piece of wood and be able to keep control the whole way through. So let me show you how that's done. As you can see, the Gripper 200 by Micro Jig is a safe and effective way to cut very thin stock, long thin stock, or just about anything else on the table saw. I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to. This does not dummy proof the table saw. It's still a rotating blade, it's still dangerous. Use common sense when you use these, but they will, if you use properly, they will make your thin cuts and a lot of other cuts on the table saw safer. This is not going to stray far from my table saw. These blocks are going to be part of my arsenal every time I try to cut something. It's going to be the first thing I reach for. I used to have push sticks. I used to have homemade wood push sticks. This is going to be my go-to push stick from now on. I highly recommend taking a look at this. I've been watching it for a couple of years now, and the price really hasn't changed. It's been $69 the whole time. I'm really glad I got 2 of them because it more than doubles your usefulness in the shop. Come take a look at it. Quality made, made in America. The guys at Micro Jig really thought this thing through. So I hope this helps. Take a look at it. Be safe in the shop. John from WorkshopAddict.com. Talk to you later.